me.
So I'm sure you guys saw the Cyberpunk apology video, right?
Yeah, dude.
I thought that
That's
was
BS.
pretty interesting because they've written several notes of apologies and posted them, but for them to actually take the time, throw somebody into the camera, like here's the face of why we effed up, you know what I mean, and then have him explain some stuff and apologize and then kind of give like a track layout of what's going to happen in the near future. I thought that was interesting. I don't know if I felt like it was really needed per se at this point, because it didn't give me like any more faith in their apology in the writing.
I think it's completely BS because first off, they say, okay, well, our PC version is like our truest version, right?
Yeah.
And okay, the PC version is a little better. But then they said, porting it to the last gen consoles, they are what they are. It's like you announced the game in 2012 before the generation even existed. So you were aware of the specs. You announced it in 2012 and then the current last gen came out in 2013.
Great point.
So you knew what it was for. So you had years to optimize, to scale down. So that, to me, that's not an excuse. You just picked that out of thin air because all the reviews reflected that accordingly. Like, on the PS4 it's garbage, on this is garbage. So they just made
they
that
ran
excuse.
with that as like
they
the
ran
excuse,
with it. Like, that was the issue. So that I didn't like. I thought it was unnecessary. The only thing I liked is that we know that there's going to be free DLC because they had it on the timeline. So there's free DLC coming out this year.
But my question is that the original DLC or is it just like junk they're going to give us?
See, that brings a great question. You're right. I didn't even think about that.
That was my first thought.
That could just be stuff that they had
He
to
didn't go
scale
into
back.
any detail on what that stuff is.
Not at all. But I did hear that they were doing DLC, a while back. But it was also like right at the beginning of all of the complaining and whatnot. But I did hear that they were doing free DLC, which is why I had told you guys I was going to hold off on finishing it because I wanted to wait for the free DLC and whatnot. So, there might have been just one, and now it sounds like there's multiples.
It didn't seem like it was in relation to their screw-up, though.
No?
To me.
Yeah.
It just seemed like in the path, these are the things that we're doing, and free DLC is one of them.
And then the next console ports are coming, by the end of this year. Which, dude, why is that taking so long?
That's ridiculous.
In my opinion, they should have just released the PC, and then when that transition was ready, release both the consoles. Like, hey, it's for PS4 and PS5 at the same time. With the optimization for PS5 and Xbox Series X. So I'm just kind of.
I agree 100% with Mark. I thought this was bull. It's like, oh, here's our apology, but then here's all the things that you guys just don't realize. You don't realize all these things that we had to do. And if you knew all these things, you'd be. It's like it's kind of like an apology is like, you know what? No, we messed up, and here's something for it. That's all they needed to do. He didn't need to go into details about all the difficulties they had.
He started giving you the excuses, so you could try to
he started giving us all the
Yeah.
excuses, right? Kind of like telling us all the reasons why that we should understand.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you had dude. Honestly, you should have just waited until holiday 2021, and because clearly, if the PS5 version isn't even available until June or later, then it would have been available holiday 2021, and everything would have been fine.
I can't fathom, as long as you push this back, right? Because this was supposed to be like early 2020. You know what I mean? Giving us like a good amount of time to play this before the console's even released. And then you pushed it back, and then you pushed it back again until like we're already like into the consoles releasing, and and this is coming out like week of. You know what I mean? So that there's a brand new console and that people would want to play the brand new version and be able to experience the brand new specs.
I don't even know if
game.
I believe him when he says they started with the PC model and like worked backwards. It's like, no way, dude. Like, kind of like what Mark is
How was
saying.
the
That
PS5
makes
not
no
ready then off
sense,
top?
dude?
Yeah, that makes
That
Yeah.
makes zero
The
sense.
PS5 should have been like right there. That literally should have been the next version that they were working on.
Yeah,
and
if
then
you,
worked
exactly.
on the
If you could do
PS4 and all
PC, then
that.
PS5 should be just easier to port,
Right.
Because you're working with the better specs of the PC, which basically PS5s and Xbox Series X's are. They're just modern day high end PCs, mid high end. right? It should be a simple port.
It should have been a small step down, and then you got the PS5
But they can't, for some
version.
reason, do that, and they're spending 6 months fixing the game because we're not getting any new port
to
the PS5 until he said second half of the year. Mm-hmm. So I mean, just spending the whole first year just fixing their game. This is a total screw up, dude.
Yeah. Like I was looking at the timeline, and it's like, okay, I could have sworn that they were supposed to be doing a lot more by February than what that timeline showed. It showed that they were doing, towards like February, the first update, and then a second update was going to be somewhere shortly after that. But then to tell me that I literally have to wait damn near like a whole half a year just to be able to play it on the PS5. You know what I mean? Like,
dude,
that's
we don't even,
so trash.
Dude, and he didn't even tell us like June. He just said second half of the year.
Second quarter.
That could be holiday next year, dude. We don't know when in the second half we're going to be getting that port. I don't know, man.
It's just a little frustrating. It seems like you'd be working ass backwards, right? Like if I'm PlayStation and I know I'm dropping this new console, I need as many games on this console that are able to showcase how great this console is. So if you're telling me, hey, I'm making a game for you, okay, don't make it for the older consoles first. Make sure that this new console has this, because people are buying these things. They have a choice between two different consoles. Like, make it so that there's even more of an undeniable reason that they should buy my console, because this game is coming out for it first, and then in like a month or two they're gonna release it for the PS4 and Pro, and then the 4 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like the 5 should have been like its priority. Like, it seems like they made the PC version its priority. And even then,
like I was saying, they started development in 2012 when that PS3 was out and Xbox 360. So their eyes should have been on next gen, the PS4. That should have been perfect. You know, you had all this time. You know, you had 8+ years, dude. That does not add up. That,
especially for them to be in such a crunch time.
Because you're right, they were working with PS3s at that time when they first announced it, and we knew it was going to be next gen. Yes. And now it's next gen. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah.
And he kept going back on talking about review scores. How the scores were high on PC. But it's like,
we don't give a damn about.
I don't care about the scores, dude.
Yeah,
like, clearly you guys
scores.
are obsessed with the scores, and they were basing everything off scores. It's like, dude, you could tell when the game is buggy enough to release or not. It has something to do with the review scores.
Yeah, they were talking about they were getting they had testing and stuff like that, but it's kind of mind-boggling that you wouldn't have people testing it on every damn machine that it's ever gonna be on. Like, why wouldn't you have them trying it out on a PS4, trying it out on a PS4 Pro, and trying it out on the PS5, as well as the PC? There was plenty of people going on record and stating that they were only given a PC copy of the game.
Right.
And that some people were like, oh, well, I play console. I don't even play, the PC version. So, like, I don't even want it. Like, don't give it to me, because I'm not playing.
And then we learned that
PC
2018
version.
Demos, that like just dropped before the show started. Mm-hmm. That the devs are saying the 2018 demos they showed the press were fake. Like, the vast majority of it was a fake demo.
So it was just like generated or something like that?
Just fake. Yeah, it was just assets that weren't ever going to be used. They were never intended to be used in the game, and they just showed it off anyways to hide the bugs. Yeah. It's just a total.
Because I mean, I think it's safe to say we know that creating anything is complicated.
Yeah.
Creating any piece of work, whether it's something physical, you're building a table, or a game, like, we know the creating process is difficult.
Yeah.
So you don't need to say all this stuff. We understand. I feel like the part that people don't.
Majority of us, I'm sure there's probably a few that just don't even understand. But yeah.
But when you're charging a premium price tag, and then acting afterwards like, they should have just released PC first. Don't keep pushing it back. Don't keep pushing it back. Just say, hey, at this time, only the PC is coming out. We want to optimize next gen, so the console one is gonna come out when that comes out. So they should have done some crap like that, because I'm sure the QA team internally, they had obviously played on the PS4 and the Xbox One.
Oh my!
So whoever gave the stamp,
hiding it.
Whoever gave the stamp of approval of that crap, dude, they need to get fired, or they need, dude, because just think about it. People in the company played that version and said, "Yeah, this is safe to go to market."
I love you, me.